Hey, Mile Deep crew, it's Ben. How are you doing? I'm going to talk today about knowing the 20% of the actions that take care of 80% of your results. Now, if you've done the scorecard, you'll know that there's a section called implementation. Now, and transformation, they're both sections where this applies to in the 10x process. So just to kind of go over the 10x process again, creating a big vision, getting rid of the obstacles, getting literally making sure they're not in the way, getting really clear on the things that you need to let go of in order to make space for the things that you need to do and create and all that sort of stuff. And implementing is the next step, step 4, like having that ability to get really clear and implement the things that move the needle. And then finally, having the support systems and structures in place to keep you moving forwards through the hard and the easy times, right? So when we are looking to get really clear on the 20% that take care of the 80%, we want to be thinking about what are the things that I can do in my business that when I put time on them and I really focus on them, they create an exponential return on my investment. And I want to talk today about offers. I've run the 10x tribe now for just over 2 months and had people join in the tribe, and they've been joining the 10x tribe. And I've noticed something. That is a skill that is in deficit or it needs work for so many coaches, consultants, guides, professional people who are looking to create their own thing, which is the ability to write and think about their offer. Now, as a business owner, your offer is so important. It precedes a lot of the other things that we think are important. I gave this example the other day. Is Alex Hormozy, one of the most successful online entrepreneurs for a long time? You know, he's very well known in the online space, and he was very, very successful in my space, which was the body transformation space, the gym space. Is that he released the book $100 million Offers before he released the book $100 million Leads. And I think this is a really good point. The reason he launched that first is because even if you have all the leads, all of the programs and the things that you have written ready, if your offer isn't clear, you're going to find it very difficult to sell what you do. Now, an offer isn't a discount. An offer isn't just shouting about the features of what you do. It's the way that we present what we do to meet the needs of our customer in a way that's easy for them to understand, that quickly joins our solution with their problem, or their problem with our solution, and then shows them how working with us is going to make it easier, faster, cheaper, more rewarding to work with us, right? So because when we get those things right, our offer is easy to sell. And I've been giving this example a lot, so you have to excuse me if you've read about this on my socials, is that when we had a 12-week offer in Fast Way to Fitness, it was very difficult to sell. It was 12 weeks, it had loads of information and education, and it had unlimited training. That was what I would call a 2x offer. And the reason it was a 2x offer is because the 12 weeks was felt by the customer was too long and it was hard to stick to. There was a big risk for them to commit to 12 weeks. The lots of education, they're thinking, well, I've already got a busy job and a busy family, so doing all of that is going to be difficult for me. And then also unlimited training. I thought that was valuable because I love training. Somebody who could barely make it to the gym, that was overwhelming. So that was a 2x offer. It almost repelled people. That was I thought it was super valuable, but it was almost repelling my target audience. And when we switched to a 6-week challenge where first and foremost, it was 6 weeks. It was 42 days. It was easy to stick to. People could actually see themselves sticking to that. That was the first thing. The second thing we did is, instead of saying we're going to give you an education program, I said to them, we'll change 1 to 2 things in your diet. And then the third thing I said is that you have to get to 2 to 3 exercise sessions a week minimum. There are other things that we put in the contract and all that sort of stuff in the offer. But can you see how that's a 10x offer? Because also what happened when we did that is that way more people bought it. It was shorter, so we could get twice the amount of people through in a quarter. So like, say, for example, January to March, when people join a fitness establishment, we could get twice as many people to go through that offer. So we got way more data. So we worked out what worked, what didn't work, how it converted, what needed to be changed. So we quickly made adjustments. Also, more people got the result that we advertised. So our promise was we'd help you lose your first stone or 20 pounds or 6% of your body fat. So people would hear that promise, we'd keep that promise, and then people would go and tell other people about our offer, saying, oh yeah, go and join Fast Way to Fitness because it's a great gym. They say they're going to help you lose weight, and they do. And because we were making and keeping that promise, the circle of money grew, the circle of trust grew, the circle of promises and keeping promises grew. So did the business. And that is when our gym changed overnight. Now, here's the thing, that when you learn about creating a 10x offer versus a 2x offer, your business will get 10 times easier. My business got 10 times easier, albeit I had new problems. I did have new problems. I had to solve too many client problems. Like, that's a great problem to solve. I didn't have enough sessions in the calendar to accommodate all the people in the sessions. I was like, oh my gosh, we've got 50 people in a session. I was like, that's a great problem to have. So we had to put more sessions on. Then the other problem was there was too many people getting results. And on the program, there was too many people getting the promise. And we actually had a contract where if you got the result after 6 weeks, we gave you the option for a refund. You said we can either put it to a long-term commitment. So you paid £300. And if you wanted to stay, we'd put it to a long-term commitment. So you could stay and it would take it off the longer-term commitment. So we'd acquire longer-term customers, or we'd give you a refund. We were that good at keeping our promise with the actual system that we produced that loads of people were getting the results and they found it easy to stick to. So that was a good problem to have. So what I'm saying is that when you have a 10x offer, your business just spirals up. And that is the difference between a 2x offer and a 10x offer. This is at the crux of transformation. Transformation on the 10x system is letting go of things that have potentially worked for you in the past and replacing them with things that might not work, that might feel scary, different, unique, out there. Because I remember going into my staff and saying, hey, by the way, we had a 12-week program, we're going to go to 8. And I got big resistance, like, no, we're never going to get results in that amount of time. And I was like, yeah, but that's because we're thinking like trainers. And when we went from 12 to 8 weeks, the results improved. When we went from 8 weeks to 6 weeks, the results improved again. Now, we had to let go of old ways of working that worked on occasion to replace it with things that were going to work way more effectively. And this is what you'll see in a lot of the Mile Deep interviews I go through with, like, for example, I interviewed Hina, and she talked about like one-to-one therapy was very, very impactful. It was very powerful. It paid her well. She did really well with that. But in order for her to get to where she wanted to be, she had to look at a one-to-many offer. And that's what she runs now. And this is what you've got to be able to do as a business owner. And it's specifically with your offer, how you bring your service, what you do, what you're brilliant at, your expertise, how you meet the marketplace in a way that they go, oh, I'd love to buy from you using that. That makes so much sense. Technically, between the 12-week program and the 6-week program, there wasn't a lot of difference in terms of what we did. We still helped people learn about protein, fats, carbs, fibers, calories, water, all that sort of stuff. But it was in a way that they felt that they could digest it. And it's a little bit like going to a restaurant, and instead of having your starter, your main, and your pudding all on one plate, they strategically place it as hey, we're going to have your starter, you're going to have a 15-minute rest, then you're going to have a main and a 15-minute rest, and then you're going to have your pudding. That's a much better offer than we're going to put everything on one plate. So think about this when it comes to your business. If you're currently struggling to make sales in your business, if you're finding things hard and you're an expert and things feel hard for you, like, oh my gosh, it just shouldn't feel this hard to sell people my expertise. I'm so good at solving problems. I can guess that the thing that's like hampering your success, probably making you feel a little less confident about your expertise, is not your expertise, it's your offer. And this is what I've seen in the past as well, is that experts who have spent years in universities, masters, even PhD level, will go and do more accreditations. I've worked with people who've been to the top level of professional sport, and because their offer isn't clear, they feel that they have to go and do more qualifications. And the thing about more qualifications is, yes, they are valuable. Yes, they will help you. Yes, will enhance your expertise and skills. But the ROI is probably way further down the line. And I've actually worked out what it would cost me to get a PhD, and I was like, there's a lot of time and money that I would have to make in sales to get that. Whereas if I can work on my offer, I'm going to quickly shift the way that my business is performing. So here's where you can put 20% of your attention and focus that it's going to create 80% shift in your results, is shifting your offer from a 2x offer, which is taking your time, which is not getting you the results you perhaps want to get, the impact you want to have, or the freedom that you want to have, and turning it into a 10x offer. Now, if you're interested in getting help with this, all you need to do is just fill out the scorecard, or just drop me a message on my Instagram or Facebook, because the truth about this is I'm bringing on a couple of experts in their space who want to create a 10x offer. And by working through, I've just created the 10x offer system, which will transform and make your business 10 times easier to articulate and to create results and to get feedback and get results and all that sort of stuff. And I think that if you're struggling with this currently, I can pretty much guarantee that it will be an overnight success, because it has been for me on numerous occasions in my businesses, and I've seen the same thing happen for clients. Thank you so much for watching or listening to this podcast. What I would suggest doing now, if you haven't already done it, go and take the scorecard, because that will quickly ascertain which of the 5 steps to go in 10x that you need to work on. If it is transformation or implementation, this is perhaps the step you need to take. Thank you so much for watching the video, and we'll see you on the next podcast.